I want to take also a moment to thank the Sculpture Network for inviting me and for having me tonight. And this is a big honor for me to moderate today's discussion. So let's start. And I think that we can start with Vitalii, if you are okay with this.
I'm totally okay with this.
Okay, let's start.
Okay, hello everybody. So happy to see you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for introduction, Hartmut, Natasha. So I will share my screen. It's okay with the screen? Okay.
It's perfect.
Okay, my name is Vitalii Datchenko, and I'm artist, contemporary artist, sculptor. I was born in Rostov-on-Don. Oh, sorry, my presentation. Oh, yeah. In Rostov-on-Don, there I graduated from the Don State Technical University as an engineer of processing artistic materials. And during this education, I understood what I want to do in my life, because I think it's the most important decision in the life of everybody. Yes, and I understood that I want to be an artist, not an engineer who helps to the artist, but the artist. So I decided to move to St. Petersburg, where I entered to the St. Petersburg Academy of Art, named after Baron Stieglitz. And I spent there 6 wonderful years. I think it was most wonderful years of everybody who've been there. It's absolutely beautiful building. I can say that I was admired by the whole city. St. Petersburg is a very beautiful city, and the architecture of our academy was absolutely fantastic, and it inspired day by day during our education. Our education was very intensive. There were a lot of tasks here. Right now, when I'm starting to think about it, I can't understand how could I do so much. There were so many things to do. So yeah, it was the experience that I and knowledge that I gained there were enormous, and we had great professor that helped us. And I like to say they gave us like sharp instruments of skills that we can still use in our artistic activity. On this slide, you can see it's my diploma project, and most of the students, they make like like more classical projects in more classical way, but I decided to be a little brave and made we can say minimalistic and laconic diploma, and it worked. Everything went fine, and I graduated from the academy, and in fact it was my first experimentation with the form when I decided that I want to move in my artistic activity. So after graduating the academy, I started to experiment, to search my way in artistic activity, and for example, with working with the object, like with the only object, it was not enough for me to share all the thoughts that I had at that time. So I needed something more. So I started to work with installations, and it's one of the installations that I made. It's pretty big. Yeah.
Vitalii, sorry to interrupt, but on the screen, the images, we have some blocks, gray blocks on the top and on the side.
Really?
Is it?
Sorry,
I don't know.
No. I thought. Sorry. I try to. How can I? I don't know why is it? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay,
Better?
I just wanted to let you know. Right now on this image, it's good, but we still can't see the title. We just see transition, or it's what I see, at least. So there is still a top bar.
I don't know why it is. It's not in front of the screen. I'm trying to. Sorry for this. I'll try to do this. No, it's still in front of the.
Okay, now if you would show it like this, at least we have the entire image. So. Sorry for the interruption. I hope I didn't.
No. I think yeah. I didn't see that. Okay, sorry for this thing. I don't know really how to manage with this.
Vitalii, do you want us to put your presentation on?
Oh yes,
Because
maybe if it will be better. Yes.
Julia, could you please help with this?
Yes, just 1 second. Have you sent? Sorry, but when have you sent it? I haven't your presentation.
Really? I definitely sent it.
Excuse me to interrupt, Vitalii. Usually it works if you just restart sharing your screen. So if you stop sharing your screen and start sharing your screen again, then
okay.
it will
Okay,
work.
I'll try. Yeah. No, it's still here.
Yeah, Julia, I have presentation.
Yeah, I have it.
Maybe you have it.
I have it. Just 1 second. Yes, just 1 second. So I share my screen now. So no, it's not. This is the right one. Like this. You see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Good. Okay.
You need.
Just let me know where to skip.
Okay. So I stopped on the slide number 5. 5. Yeah. 5. No, 5.
No, 5. Sorry. Here.
Yeah. Thank you. So I started to work with installations, and because I was curious about the social life of a person, of his place in the society. And so I imagined that every person is like a doorway or a portal. So when we making an acquaintance with somebody, either this person will be for us like a portal, and we can open like a new world with the help of this person, either, or there will be nothing. So we're living in such a crowd of different destinies, and we are trying to find our way in this labyrinth of different people, different destinies. And whole installation was like a labyrinth, so the people could move through these figures. So yeah, at this period I was very interested to create projects with to interact with, so the people could interact with. Can you please next slide? So I was searching for this new artistic way to share my thoughts, to share my message, my and themes that I was excited. So I had self-educated of contemporary art. And I took part in different events. So on this slide, you could see I took part in the Moscow International Moscow Biennale of Contemporary Art, and it was like portfolio review for young artists. And I was talking about this installation Monday morning. And there was a funny story with this project, because we had to discuss it with other participants and with the different Moscow curators. And I remember that one of the curators told me that this is how my granny understands contemporary art. And I really was embarrassed at that moment because it's strange to hear, I think. But a little bit later, I understood, I can say, the meaning, and it was a pretty insightful comment that helped me to move on in my artistic activity and my search. So yes, lately I understood how useful was this comment. Can you please next slide? Just before leaving for France, I made an exhibition, my personal exhibition, and it's pretty important project for me. In short, in this project, I was thinking about overcoming the borders and the fear of unsafe spaces. Can you, next slide? It was created during the pandemic year, so significant role was from the social changes that happened during pandemic and after this thing, and also, of course, political instability and different are the negative events that happened involved on my project. So I tried to gather all of the thoughts in this one project. Next slide, please. It was the first project when I started to work with the symbols and signs. So on the photo, on the right photo, you can see, we can say it's a coral, or maybe it's a hand, or looks like. And in fact, it's like a sign, gesture that has been used across different cultures through the different years, through the ancient times. For example, in antiquity, orators used this gesture. And it means that I'm starting to talk. Lately, then on the icons, same persons with this gesture, and which means I'm starting to preach. Also, even in Hinduism, it's also very important gesture, which means the energy of earth, harmony and peace. And this is what I think everybody needed at that time. Next slide, please. In France, when I arrived at France, of course, I didn't have the first time a studio to work, but I have a great opportunity to work in these studios of it's Higher School of Art and Design, Cité de Design. I worked there for 3 months. It was for me like art residency. I got a fantastic experience. I made good acquaintance with all the team. There is a wonderful team and well-equipped studios, so it's a perfect place to work as long as as it possible. And lately they offered me a place of professor's assistant, where I'm working right now, and so I'm happy with this so much. Next slide, please. Another important point, France, for me became, it's a little city, Souillac. It's like a very, very small city in the center of France. And I also had there an art residency in the very old manor. Absolutely beautiful place, quiet, with interesting history. And I've been there for 2 times, and the first time it was like residency. I was inspired by a lot of things. And next year I came there, and I took part in a group exhibition called Terrain Instable on French language, or Unstable Ground in English language. During this exhibition, I presented my works that were part of the Higgs und Leones project that I will talk on the next slide. This project, Higgs und Leones, I started to think in Russia, even in Russia, but started to implement only in France, where I got enough information and emotions and experience that involved on this project. Briefly, I can say that in this project, I'm talking about the complexity of interpretation, different things, either culture or just different things. I also use different symbols. And for example, this object, it's a ceramic thing. In this, I was thinking about the duality, and on the, it's like a double-faced, not bone, like a bone from peach inside the peach. Next slide, please. The other object that is very important, and in fact, it's the main object in the project, it's the leaf, like an ordinary leaf that inspired me, that I found in Suyak. And it's the main character. So, and in some extent, I associate myself with this leaf, which seemed to be torn from a tree by a gust of wind and carried away to God knows where. And I really felt myself like this. So I decided to create this thing. Next slide, please. Also, I work with the graphic, and I started my presentation with the leaf, and I'm finishing with the leaf. And this image, I assume this image as a symbol of hope for everybody, for the best. And that's it. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Vitalii. And before moving to Alesya, I just want to ask a very fast question to you. Why did you choose France, and why it is Saint-Étienne? Because as from my experience, people usually go, I don't know, to Paris, for example. Why this is Saint-Étienne?
Saint-Étienne, because Nikita, we talked with Nikita, and he told me that there is a common friend there, that there is a person in Saint-Étienne have already been, that we can meet this artist there, and she can make some advices, very useful advices, and maybe help with the acquaintances. So yes, we meet. And also I got the information about Saint-Étienne, that there is a good higher school of art there, and it's pretty small. And I wanted to go not to a big city, because I was tired from the big city. I needed like a quiet place to live. So here it is. That is how my decision was made.
Thank you, Vitalii. And I'm going to ask you a little bit deeply before everybody shows their presentations. And for the moment, I'd like to introduce you Alesya Murlina. And Alesya has very interesting background, because she was born in Belarus, and then she studied in Russia in the St. Petersburg Stieglitz Academy of Art and Design, and now she lives in France, also in Saint-Étienne. And I think this is a very interesting and very inspiring experience, and I hope to talk a little bit about this later. But now, yes, please go ahead with your presentations, and please share us your artistic experience.
Thank you, Natalia. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Alesya Murlina, and now I will try to share my presentation. Okay. Can you see it well? Hello?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, all good.
Can you see it well?
Yes.
It's okay?
Yeah, this is okay. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm interdisciplinary artist. I work with different media like sculpture, video, graphic works, and photo, and other. Okay, you can. Sorry, I have a problem. Oh, okay. I was born in Belarus, and about my education, I can say that maybe I'm too educated because I studied 12 years just for sculpture, and maybe because of that, now I want to use different media in my practice, and I started my education in art college in Minsk, and then I studied for 2 years in art academy in Belarus, and after I moved in St. Petersburg, and I entered in Stieglitz Academy. It's our graduation photo. It's it's a very beautiful art academy. It's like a palace actually, and here I don't know. It's you can see my cursor or not? No. No. Okay. I'm on this photo. And this art academy, we had a very strong classical school, and it was a reason why I entered there. When I studied in art academy, I made mostly some cheerful sculptures, like these sculptures of buzzers in very bright swimsuits, and now I make some not so not so cheerful sculptures. This big sculpture, it's Big Buzzer. It's was my graduate work. It's pretty big. It's practically 2 meters high, and I made it from oak, and it's from parts. It's have 8 parts, I think. In our art academy, we had I got the base, I got the skills that I can use now, and it's very good, but it was some problem that our knowledge about contemporary art, it was very small, and actually history of art ended in the beginning of 20th century, and even our professors made some jokes about contemporary art. It was a very old-fashioned education, and then I think I had difficulties when I graduated from this art academy, because I need to understand how to be not just a student but an artist, and I started my experiments with form, and I think I made in beginning like common mistake, because I think that something modern, something contemporary should be abstract, and I make some experiments with abstract forms, but after I understand that it's not like it shouldn't be just abstract forms. Sculpture can be contemporary and realistic, and it's okay. And here, this portrait, maybe it's my last sculpture, when where form was more important for me than sense, because after it was like the same importance for me. I entered in Pro Art School. It's a foundation of contemporary art in St. Petersburg, and I had their master classes and lectures by artists, curators, and art theorists, and it was very good theoretical knowledge in contemporary art, and it helped me a lot in finding the direction in the art. And I think after this education, I started think not just about object, but about whole project. If I will say about my inspirations, I can say that it's maybe not works of different artists, but it's things around me. And here it's my photos. I start work with my project from making some photos, and mostly it's film photo. And the most inspiring thing for me it's architecture, and I make some photos and sculpture with this theme. And architecture, I can say that for me it's not just art form, type of art. It's mostly it's a concept of home for me. The most important projects for me, I think it's my personal exhibitions, and here there is my personal exhibition where I work with theme of home, of coziness and safety, and I experimented here with a combination of different media. I used here sculpture and video and sound and installation. And I had the idea here of the interior of the house, and interior of the house is a safe space, and exterior of the house it's a dangerous space. And sculptures represent a house turned inside out, where the interior is meant to protect the peace of the outdoors. I hope it's not very difficult to understand. In my next personal exhibition, I continued to work with theme of fragility and vulnerability, and this exhibition was all in gray colors, and I use here layers of images. It was layers of photography and printings on fabric, and it was a concrete sculpture and video, and it was all like it wasn't one a single object. It was all in the layers. It was important for me because I tried to make a feeling of a fog, and it was a symbol of instability. In France, I work in different studios now. I haven't my permanent studio yet, but I may have it soon, hopefully. And I worked in different studios. I worked in the workshops of the Lyon Opera and in workshops of different art residencies. And but maybe it's not very good for making sculpture. That's why now I work mostly with photo and video, and I hope that soon I will have opportunity to make sculpture also. This is my current project. I continue to work with theme of memory here, and I interested here in projects, in subjects, in different subjects whose value is not obvious to everyone, but maybe it can become an image of well-known people. It's of our friends or relatives who can use some objects, and I can say that in my plans, I plan to move towards even more interdisciplinarity and erasing borders between media in my projects. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Alesya. Also, just a quick question before we start with Nikita, our last guest artist. We had a small conversation with you, actually, in correspondence by email, and it was very interesting for me. For example, in your project that I adore, this that is called "So Loud That I Can Barely Hear." What was the sculpture for you? I mean, the whole installation with all the video, all pictures, with the sculpture, the objects themselves, or for you, like there are different mediums in general, and you give the attention to differently to each of the part of this project. So what is the contemporary culture for you, or sculpture for you?
I think in that project, it was still different media separate from each other. It was sculpture and installation and video and sound. It was like opposite, but maybe with time I will my concept will change maybe, but there it was still a different media, but it's I was interested in I was interested to use it together, not just like one separate thing, but it was just something in the middle, from object to something common.
Okay, thank you. So let me introduce a little bit Nikita. Nikita now lives in New York, and he also graduated from the Stieglitz Academy of Art in St. Petersburg. And he has a different experience, different approaches, and it's also very interesting for me to ask some to go a little bit deeper with my questions after your presentation, Nikita. So let's welcome Nikita as well, all together.
So hi everyone. Thank you, Natasha, for your kind introduction. So it's now my time to be a bit nervous and do some technical mistakes probably. So let me share my screen with you. And it will take some time. So can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So nothing interrupting, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So good. Good. So, my name is Nikita Seleznev, and I'm a sculptor. We've been limited with 15 minutes, so we have to do our presentation for 15 minutes, which forced me to think about what can I say in such a short time. It's very limited, and I decided, okay, I have to pick something what is really important for me, maybe even more important than sculpture itself. Even if I'm obsessed with sculpture, I love it, I'm doing it all the time, but still, I wanted to have some topic which will introduce me and maybe will share some parts of my practice which you can see from pictures, from videos, from documentations. And I said, okay, so I will tell about friendship. And I have to apologize to you, Natasha, because because you wasn't prepared for that. And to get back on me, you please ask me every questions about sculpture you want, like every technical details, whatever. After this, but now I will have, I will use this privilege to be a speaker and will tell you a little bit about friendship, because I think it's very important for me. And to start, I will tell you my background, my story. In 2022, I left Russia because of war in Ukraine, and through Georgia, I flew to the United States and ended here in New York. So I don't think it could happen without help of my friends. I'm pretty sure they really helped me, and I didn't even expect so much help, so much care from all of my friends. And I always like to spend time with people, then you met something new, and it is never enough for me to have a small chat. I honestly understand nothing from small chat. I really like to have meal together, to go to the bar maybe together, something like that, something simple, but what allows us to understand each other, like how we're clicking, what is going on here. So it was about my experience and how I started my practice in New York. I wanted to tell you about only 3 of my projects, and each of them will tell a little bit about friendship as well and about my practice. And let me start with project which I've been offered to do in 2021, and the museum of, so the right name of the museum, sorry, I have to check that. It's Boris Yeltsin Presidential Center in Yekaterinburg, and Yekaterinburg is my hometown. So the director of this center offered me to do a huge project, and we had very limited time, and I accepted that. And after this, I asked my friend Grigory Baluev to join me and to do, he's an architect, and he helped me to do this beautiful animation. So he agreed, and also my other friend, a composer, Marina Karpova, she agreed to make music for this presentation, for this project. At the end, the project occupied the whole museum, and it was really big, and it was breathtaking. And I would never achieve that without help of my friends. And I really like to work with them, and I think it's important for me then you have a possibility to discuss ideas, to do something together, to change something, because of another view. And this project we did like that, and it ended well, and it was really big, and we did it in like 3 months, I think. So I'm showing you pictures, and you're probably wondering, like you said, you're a sculptor, but you showing us only videos. What is going on here? What is the trick? And it's not a trick. I really like to work with objects as well. But sometimes I use sound and sometimes I use animation in my practice, because I think after all, there is it doesn't matter for me in a sense which medium I use. Like the most important task for me to force space to work differently, to change space, to somehow give a viewer different experience in places he maybe been like many times, or just to show some different side of this space. This is the other project, and I will start the conversation about this project also with a short story. But give me a second. So I had a conversation with my friend in 2018. So this project was even before. And my friend, she's a curator, and I'm very like, I'm absolutely not articulated when I start a project. I have basically no idea what I'm doing. It's always bad. I mean, it's hard to explain. It's just feelings mostly. And I started that talk like, you know, I have this idea. So maybe you know those sites which collect lyrics from, so translations of lyrics from very popular songs. And I used to live in a Russian-speaking country, and basically what people did, they translate famous songs like Beyonce, I don't know, like whatever, and they translate it to their own language. And I know those sites exist obviously in like in German-speaking countries, in French-speaking countries, and people like to translate famous lyric to their own languages. But something fascinating happens in that process. So I'm telling this crazy story to my friend. Obviously, no sketches, no pictures, nothing. Just that like crazy idea, but not crazy, but I think hard to understand what I'm talking about. But she's like, okay, so you know, I like that. I like that idea. I have a gallery which will be open like in a year, probably like a few months maybe, and I can talk with them about that project if you want. And I'm like, maybe you wanna be a curator for that show. It's like hard to say show because it's only an idea. And she said yeah, and she agreed, and we did that show in a year, and the gallery agreed to host us, and it went well after the show. So the first iteration of the show was shown in MIV Gallery in St. Petersburg. After this, we had a presentation in Garage Museum in Moscow, and also the article about the show was featured in Forbes. So we reached a lot, I think, and it was mostly because once she said, yeah, I like this crazy idea, let's do that. And now I forget to click, so sorry, it will be like silent. I will just show you the other parts of this project. So you can see the text of Anne here, and also parts of exhibition. So there was like number of objects, and there was some pictures. At the end, the whole show was about like contemporary culture, about new languages which formed in the internet, and yeah, you can see that. It's also a couple more objects from that show. So, and yeah, this is the exhibition of Garage Museum. What else do we have? Yeah, now I wanted to tell you about what I'm doing now, because I have a studio in New York, and I also continue my practice here now. And about like 2 years ago, probably, I started to think about a project which connected with kind of like craziness of this world of crisis I faced myself into, not like personally, but I think in general, I think we're living through some crisis. And also I thought about personal care, about care about each other, which helps us to go through that. And this is photos from my studio. What I did, I asked my friend, Grigory Baluev. You already heard about this guy, an architect, and he joined me, and he agreed to work with sound and with animation with me. So we started animation. It's a still from the video we did. And also, during the exhibition in Garage Museum, we became friends with beautiful curator, Ekaterina Savchenko, and she agreed to write the text for me for that show. So after all, it was, and we you have to understand, we're all living now in different cities in different countries. Ekaterina lives in Barcelona, I live here in New York, and Grigory lives in Montreal. So for me, it was kind of a way to keep my relationships with my friends, to keep like my life in a sense, and it somehow it works. So it's a couple more objects from that show, and we will show it in a few days in St. Petersburg. Like it's already done, everything is done, and we will have one version of this show in St. Petersburg in a few days, and the other version of the show will be shown in Montreal in a couple of weeks. I also want to show it here in New York, like maybe it will be like biggest presentation, the fullest one, and it will be later. So this is what I wanted to tell you, and now, and please follow me on Instagram. I think if you will need more information, you can always find it there. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nikita. And before moving to my question to all the artists, also just a small question to you. If I'm not mistaken, you're from Perm, right?
Right, that's exactly right. So I was born in Perm, and I spent my teenage time in Yekaterinburg. It's a city nearby. So I'm from Ural, yeah.
Okay, because I also graduated from the university in Yekaterinburg. But why I'm asking you about Perm?
Nice.
Because Perm is very important city for the contemporary culture in Russia. And just a quick background about this city. Before 2008, it was not well known even for Russian people, you know.
Right,
But starting from 2008, there was a new cultural policy, and the local government started to organize a real contemporary art shows and contemporary opera, contemporary ballet, and sometimes, you know, they were very provoking, and started from this time, many people like you know, like very rich people, very educated people started to come to Perm, and Perm became a cultural hub, a Russian cultural hub. And this was called term cultural revolution. So my question is, did this cultural revolution of term influence you and your artistic approach today?
So I've never been a part of that, even if I followed and kind of knew everything about that. But I left Perm way before it started, and basically during this like Renaissance, I've already been in St. Petersburg, and what influenced me happened mostly in St. Petersburg, and I followed the whole Perm. How did you call it? Revolution, cultural revolution in Perm. So I like that. Yeah.
This is like an official
it's beautiful.
term, you know?
No, it's beautiful, right? So I always followed it from the distance, but I was lucky enough in 2021, I think, I was asked to give a speech to, we had like a similar conversation, and I've been in Perm with other beautiful artists and curators, and we talked about art and sculpture, and also like situation which is going on now. So yeah, I catched it at the end, but a little bit, only a little bit.
Okay, so in this case, what influenced you? Like, why? What influenced you on your transition from classical sculpture? I guess this is what you studied in the Stieglitz Academy of Art and Design, to contemporary art. So, who inspired you, or what inspired you?
What inspired me? I think a lot of things. Really a lot. It's even hard to say. I think maybe this mystery, because when I started, and like I think Alesya pointed beautifully, contemporary art in my academy was kind of like unknown, something like a gray area, and I always like torture my professors and like, do you want talk about like contemporary art, maybe do you want to talk about something after 50s, after World War II? And they're like, no way. And I think this mystery forced me to study even harder, you know. It never been like on a silver plate. I had to get information about contemporary art. I had to learn about that by myself, and also I had. So how to call it correctly? I studied in Poland, in Warsaw, and for one semester, and it was also an interesting experience for me, because it was completely different, and it was something in between, because they very crafty, you know. Like I learned a lot about ceramic. I learned about like glass, different techniques, and contemporary art is also more something what is around and what everybody produced. So I think for me it was like transitional period.
Okay, thank you so much to Vitalii, to Alesya, and to Nikita. And your presentations were very interesting and fascinating. And I think I'm talking now from all of us. And let me ask just one question to each guest artist, and then I propose you to ask your question, and I can repeat, then you can write it in the chat, or you can raise your hand or found your own way, let's say. So Vitalii, I have the first question to you. Yes, you told that before graduating from the St. Petersburg Stieglitz Academy of Art and Design, that where you got like let's say, classical education in sculpture, you earned a degree in technology of artistic processing of materials. So how this background help you in current work? And do you think that contemporary sculptors should generally have this kind of skills, or it's, I don't know, sufficient to have just a strong concept, a strong idea, and the right team to bring it to life?
For me, of course, this first education helps me very much, because I was taught how to construct the process, to understand the process of creating anything, something from anything. So when I'm thinking about the project, I'm thinking about different ways at the same time, and I don't know, it's usually it's pretty easy to find the most right way, the easiest way to create. Always, I think it's the problem for all of the sculptors. There is an idea in head, and to move it to the reality is a problem. So it helps me, yes, to make it material, to understand the process step by step, how I will do it. The first part of your question, and the second part, if I think it's if everybody needs it, no. I think totally not, because you shouldn't know everything. It's like, for me, a useful option, but most part of things that we can do, we can create, we can ask for help of the certain specialist who can explain and make it even better. So in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think it's not so strict to have such knowledge.
Okay, it's interesting. Thank you, because yeah, I thought the answer will be different, but it's very interesting, your point of view. Alesya, just a small question to you, and I have already mentioned that you were born in Belarus and you studied in St. Petersburg. Now you live in France. So how do you self-identify? So are you a Russian artist? Are you a Belarusian artist? Are you international artist? And is this self-identification important for you somehow? To belong to some, I don't know, country, to represent some country?
But I think that I always will be Belarusian artist that's who lived in some country, because I can't change a place where I was born, and I'm okay with it, and I want to be like I want to be a Belarusian artist, and maybe I want to live in different countries and be free to move, but yes.
Okay, thank you. Nikita, once you mentioned that contemporary art, contemporary sculpture for you is something expanded. So sculpture plus something, sculpture plus video, or some sculpture plus finding object, or even 3D animations. And for you, is it just your own understanding of contemporary sculpture, or it's just your own artistic language?
It's a good question. So, yeah, I think this frame helps me to understand what I'm doing. First of all, I don't see much reasons to like teach somebody how to understand sculpture, but when I try to understand what I'm doing here, I see that. So quite often, and it's sometimes unfortunate, I want to limit myself with only objects sometimes, but I often want to add something, and then I see, so these small additional things change a lot, giving a fresh perspective. Why I don't have to do that? So, okay, I'm leaving that. I'm leaving this sound, I'm leaving this piece of video in my project. And yeah, it's as simple as that. I don't thinking much, but if I can get rid of something, I do that. But quite often it have to be there. That's why it's extended.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you told about this in one reels that we prepared to promote this event. And by the way, I don't know how many of you have seen our reels on Instagram, because we really wanted to create something special for this evening, for this discussion. And it's also interesting for me how many of you joined us today because of these reels. So if you can just raise your hand or say hello, or put plus a small plus in the chat, it will be very helpful and useful for us. And I have one more question to all of you guys, and then I really want to give a chance to other participants to ask their questions. And my question will be about immigration and about your new professional paths in new countries. And I know that this is very different and very challenging to find this new path in new country. And I'm telling this from my own experience, because I moved to Madrid just this February. And do you feel the support of local communities, art communities, or do you feel mostly sense competition or distrust? So how do you find the relations with local art communities? I don't know, in New York or in Saint-Étienne. A little bit provoking question, but still I'm just curious about it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
It's really provoking question, and in my opinion, as I can see, the art community here is pretty closed, and there are not too much ways to get into this community. It's the first point. The other thing that it's very friendly community anyway, and we got a lot of help from different people. They truly trying to help in different things. Even yes, so it's like 50-50. It's hard to say, because, for example, even to find the place for for exhibiting, to make exhibition. It's a challenging thing. It's true. But when you're looking for the opportunities to work, to create something, every person will help, and with advice, even not advice, with good, I don't know how to say, direction. They can help with to choose the direction where to search, because when you're in a new place, you just can't understand where to look for it and how to find. So yeah, that's my thought.
This is your experience, yeah.
Yes, my experience.
Thank you, Vitalii. And what about you, Nikita?
So yeah, luckily I had a little bit of time to think about that. And specific of New York, it's a huge place, and it's not only size of the city, but I wouldn't say there is one art community, because there is many art communities in New York, and the amount of people who involved in art is like just huge and incredible. And I think it's kind of a good thing for me, because here you don't feel like you have to be included in one particular big group and be part of that group, or like just a loser. No, it's totally okay to be a part of one group and of other, and have many different connections, which are at the end like give you different opportunities, give you different experience. And I always wanted not to limit myself with only like art community, exactly, like, you know, like gallery artists. And this thing makes it's even harder, because, for example, I've met beautiful director, and he's doing movies, and it was during my, so we've met before, but during my presentation, I had a presentation of my project in my own studio, and he said, yeah, I really like that. I like your backyard. I like that idea of small gathering. And I said, like, do you want to show something? Maybe let's do your presentation as well. And we did, which is how I usually do things, you know, you like met somebody and it doesn't really matter just doing something together if you want to do that. So I'm kind of like on outskirts here, but on the other hand, it's fine. And I never wanted to be like New Yorker. I think it's kind of crazy idea, because I like to be international. I really would love to do something in Europe, and I always seek an opportunity to do something. And it's kind of like sad that I'm so far from Europe nowadays. And we're doing project in Canada, mostly because my friend lives there, and because it's just reasonable to organize that event nearby. He's like technical stuff. Let's say that.
So friends are your, one of the main artistic tool, a part of the art itself to continue your work and to realize your ideas. Am I right?
Yeah, it's just one of the biggest part of my inspiration, and like I said, I do not really. I'm just very bad in like networking and you know, like emailing and all that stuff. But then I love somebody. I'm just saying that, you know, it's something going on here. It's cool. Like, let's do something together, and it's how it works for me. And I enjoy that. And I think people who involved and who agreed to do something together also enjoy that, which is way better for me than just writing like millions of proposals and all that stuff, which I also do, unfortunately, but not my favorite.
I got impression that you are very sociable and you like you build easily your network. But yeah, it's very interesting what you are
Not
talking
true,
about.
not true.
Yeah, Alesya, and what about you? Like how do you find local the attitude of local art community to you?
Actually, when I moved in Saint-Étienne, it's a very small city. I thought that I will be just alone, and it will be no artist here. But I was surprised that it's a pretty big art community here. Maybe because of, there is 3 big high schools of art here in a small city, and maybe because they trying to make this city a city of design. It's like now it's official name of city of design, and maybe because of that it's pretty I don't know, it's a pretty big community of artists, and we communicate a lot. I think it's now it's more I have more communication than I had in St. Petersburg. I don't know how it's possible because, of course, in St. Petersburg, it's every third it's artist. It was very it was a city of artists, and but here, yes, it's there is a community, but it's not perfect. Actually, it's when you want to reach out somebody, it's not easy actually. But it's not about artists. It's about some plans. Like when you want to organize something, it's some French story that it's very difficult to communicate with somebody who you really don't know exactly. Yes, but it's okay, and it was very surprising actually. Plus have feel some state care because it's I never feel this in Belarus, and in Russia it was like okay, you're just alone, and you need to manage all your things by yourself. But here it's I guess we can feel some state care, and it was surprising. Natalia, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to thank you guys to be patient and to be very fair and very sincere with us. And let's start with the questions of our participants. And I have several questions already in our chat. So I think that we have more or less 20-25 minutes more. Right, Julia? So let's start. And of course, I have many questions, more questions to you as well. So I hope that we fill this time with very interesting discussion. And I also welcome the other participants to participate in our discussion. If you have not just questions, but also some ideas or some thoughts, please feel free to share them with us, okay? So Irina is asking, yeah, sorry, I just I lost Irina's question, sorry.
Let me help you. I think you can start maybe with Anemone. She has a question.
Yeah. Yes. Anemone was, sorry for my pronunciation, Vostel, is asking, I would like to know how you keep in touch with your colleagues and friends in Russian and Belarus, Isn't this dangerous for those who left in Russia, Belarus? Also a provoking question. So what would you say, guys? Do you keep in touch with your artistic friends?
Can I try to answer that? Since I'm doing an exhibition in St. Petersburg, and can you hear me well?
Yeah.
I'm sound. Good. It's just what I wanted to say. It just seems very important for me to somehow continue to continue this like dialogue, this discussion with my colleagues and friends in Russia, because many of them still live in Russia in the war and the whole censorship. It's very complicated for them, and it's harsh. And I really think it's important for me to somehow keep this discussion, keep showing my art, sharing some ideas with them, and if they ready to accept that, I'm very grateful to them. And it's complicated technically because I think, yes, the answer to the last question, it is dangerous to go to Russia, and it can be fine. It's not like 100% you're going to Russia and you're going to jail. No, but there is a very big chance you will get in trouble because of censorship, because you are standing openly against the war in Ukraine, and because you, after all, spend like a few years in abroad, which also can be considered like kind of like a fraud or something, fraud, like betrayed, like Russian government likes to put that. I'm trying to smuggle my art somehow back to my city I spent so much time in, and I'm happy that some of my colleagues still agreed to do that, and they are kind of bold because it can be dangerous for them as well. So yeah.
But
like
which media you use to keep in contact? Because I was thinking about this question because Alesya said, as she's living in France, and lately there was this Pavel Durov, the CEO from Telegram, was arrested, and so I'm wondering how you do that. So how you keep in contact and without bringing your friends in difficulties, because if they are in contact with people abroad or with colleagues and friends, I don't know, is it really so dangerous for them? So are they observed then, or how is the procedure? How do you do it really in life?
Maybe Vitalii or Alesya like to add something.
I can maybe it. I don't think that it's a problem for our friends if we just call them. It's not dangerous call to our friends, but maybe because we not Pavel Durov, it's different level.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, I get that from in everyday life, when you just talk to your relatives or your friends, and you don't mention anything about the war and Russian government, so everything can be fine. But I agree with Nikita that you think twice to go to visit your mom in Russia or not, because you're not sure if you can go back from Russia. Yeah, this is true.
Visit, yes, but just for call, it's not a problem.
Yeah. So I found the question of Irina, but I think they have very quite pretty conversation with Vitalii in chat, so you can read it also as well. So no more questions, I guess. Maybe somebody wants to add and to ask Yellow.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up on Aneman's question to Nikita. I didn't get it completely. So you are not going to St. Petersburg for your project?
No, I'm not, unfortunately. I can't do that. But the thing is, main part of my project is a video, and that video, my colleagues from MIF Gallery, they're ready to show that, and we also have some few additional objects, and this is what I will be showing in the gallery. I think what important here, after all, contemporary art is a very small niche, and people who are going to galleries, especially if we're talking about like private galleries, it's a very small amount of people, and I think it's still possible to share ideas on that level. Of course, it can be dangerous, but everything can be dangerous in Russia. But somebody ready to take this risk, and I can't work with big museums anymore, and unfortunately I even can't go to Russia in person, but to somehow smuggle and somehow show works, it's still okay, I think.
Thank you for adding. Yeah, it's a very there is a very interesting question from anyone again, and I also had this kind of question. How do you perceive the Western art market, art scene? Is it similar to what you left in Russia, Belarus? So Alesya, maybe you can start. It seems that we lost Alesya. Alesya, I don't see you.
Sorry, I just trying to read this question.
Yeah, so it's about the art market. How do you find, if there are any differences between a Western art market and art market in Russia and Belarus? And I would add, if you don't mind, so where do you see more possibilities for you now in the Western art market, or still you're thinking about like Eastern European art market?
Yes, I think it's obvious that here in France and Europe and in America, it's much more possibilities for artists, and art market it's better, much better, because actually in Belarus it's practically no exist, and in Russia it exists, but it's not very big, not very active, and I think it's a very small part of artists can really be participants of this art markets in Russia, and in Belarus it's practically nothing. And here, yes, I can see that it's much better.
And in terms of, I don't know, not the volume of the art market, but I mean, some specificities, what would you say, like, which approaches did you use in Russia to be included, let's say, in the art market, and what do you do now in France?
Yes, actually I can say that I'm not good in networking, and for me it's really true, because for Nikita I think it's not like he for me, it's really true. And in Russia, for me, it was difficult to get in this art market because it's difficult for me to communicate with gallerists and so on. And here, it's I still try to find this way. I can't say that I understand exactly what I should to do, but here I can see that even me with my possibilities with communication, it's possible.
Okay. Thank you. And yeah, good words like participating. So you are now today in the sculpture network community, and this is also good networking for you. So this was a very good chance to all of you. Yeah, and I see that Anne Berg raised her hand. Please, Anne. Please turn on your microphone. No. Yeah.
Now you hear me, I think.
Yes.
Well, it's really a pleasure to have all these conversations and interesting questions and answers that were given. As some of you might know, I do a lot of online clubs and moderation, and it's very interesting to have this subject of Russian artists, contemporary Russian artists. I myself am working as a curator and the vice chairman of Sculpture Network. And I like Sculpture Network a lot because we can exchange ideas. And I hope this event for you, for the three artists, will also bring you into a larger field, to the attention of more people, to begin with us, you know. It was really surprising to listen to the St. Petersburg Academy, how they taught you art that are not just only until the 50s. It's really amazing. I didn't know it was still like that, you know. And that's really, I can't grasp the motivation for that, how they see themselves, you know, in this time. It's a complete, it's not only technology art, you know, but it seems that that's only what they teach you to. And the other thing is that I've been working for 30 years as an art critic, and I've seen a rise of interest in former Eastern European countries to encourage you that in the West, these skills are lost. So there is a new taste for some artists who use the skills that they taught, that they were learning in Eastern academies, that are no longer taught here. The only thing is that those artists are only appreciated if they give it a contemporary touch. To mention one example, I made a show with a Bulgarian artist. He's a painter, Dimitar Genshev. He can wonderfully paint. He came to Amsterdam to learn about the old masters from the 17th century. He can make still lifes if he wants, but he combines it with computer images and strange perspective and kind of graffiti-like use of paint. And so you see some images emerging. And that work is very much appreciated because it is a mix of contemporary and, let's say traditional skills. So I think you can be happy in a way to have this background, you know, that is certainly, you should never throw that away. You can use that. And others can't compete with you in that respect. So, and I see that you're experimenting a lot and not going the easiest way with mixed media, which is very interesting and makes me also put the question, and all of you may answer, how do you see yourself in the digital age? So you have the sculptural background, and some of you are working with sound and images and sculptures, three-dimensional animations. I saw, Nikita, you had this kind of, was it clay figures? You did this animation with his friends. And I thought it was very interesting because these clay animations are a mixture of physicality and digital things. And I'm not sure if you are aware of these issues, but I think that is a very interesting challenge nowadays. So how to deal with the tactility and the fact you always communicate through screens nowadays. So whoever wants to pick up on it, how do you combine 3D and in a digital age?
Well, I can say about my experience because you put it like perfectly well, and a lot of things you mentioned, I was thinking about that in my practice. I don't think it's ever been an issue for me, and it kind of happened very naturally because I like my craft and I appreciate it, and I never give up it and gave it up. And then I started to work with animation. I was inspired by very classical, very old-fashioned stop motion animations, mostly like Eastern European. And then just the process of this animation forced me to use more like scanning, to use contemporary programs, and I started to collaborate with people who work in that area nowadays. And kind of naturally, I always been protective to like my craft, you know. I always been, no, we're doing it like in a hard way. You put it perfectly because it is hard to. I mean, I'm doing those objects for animation by hands, and sometimes I sculpt it in computer, but I prefer to do it in a hard way, and it gives you completely different feelings, completely different like understanding of materiality, and after all, it moves us closer to like to realistic images, even in a sense they sculpted and they are very not natural, looks completely different, but this materiality changes. And yeah, I don't think I kind of like made those decisions step by step. They just happen, you know. You always have to pick one. Okay, can I use scans? Yes, I can. It doesn't bother me. It works well. Can I use only digital objects? No, I can't, because I lose something. And yeah, during that process, I figure out how to work with that.
Yeah, beautiful answer.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nikita.
Yeah, right. So actually, we are coming to the end of our today's session, and I want to thank to our guest artists and to all participants for your questions, interesting questions and discussion and points of view. It was very, very inspiring, I don't know, personally for me. And before actually we officially wrap up, I propose you to share your feedbacks on social media, or maybe to emails of Sculpture Network organizational team. Or I guess Juliet told me that tomorrow you will get some letter with to ask your feedback. So thank you so much. It was very interesting, and I wish a very good night to everyone. Thank you for your time and being with us tonight. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks a lot, everyone.
I also
Great
wanted to say
presentation.
thank you to everybody. Yeah, so if I may just say one or two words to all the participants, Nikita, Alesya, and Vitalii. Even though I knew you from before, I must say listening to you is always very special, and there are so many new aspects of your practice that I discover, and I hope that the participants of tonight got a feeling of the challenges that people are facing, or artists are facing, when they are replanted in a new environment and having to rebuild the entire network of connections. And I would like to ask you one question, and I think Alesya maybe partly answered this question, but yeah, so what was it easier for you to work as an artist when you were in Russia back then, despite of all the difficulties that comparative artists have, or is it easier for you now to have your practice and to live? I mean, I don't know if you separate your professional life from your private life, but yeah, how do you feel your situation now compared to before? Do we have time to answer? Maybe no. Okay, I don't know.
I think we have like 5 minutes more. Yeah.
Alesya,
Alesya?
Okay, yeah, I can tell a little. I think it doesn't matter where we can make art, but I can definitely say that a lot of not easy events and the events, yes, they made good food to reflecting on it. So it's for me, it's like very, very good soil to plant my project, use it. So if we are talking, if it's easier in France, here in France or in Russia, it doesn't matter. It only depends on how we want to do it, and that's it.
I'd like to add that actually this was a brilliant idea of Laura to invite our guest artist tonight, and thank you, Laura, again to introduce this artist to all of us. Yeah, and this is again how the community, a very good, strong community, works. That everyone brings his or her brilliant ideas, and yeah, we make this world a little bit better and more interesting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Goodbye.